Okay, I'll play a land for a turn, and I'll pay 5 mana and sacrifice my Kind Slaver and have someone outside of the game take over Cameron's turn. Austin, would you?
I would love to, Eric.
And welcome to the cleanup step.
Hey everybody, today we have a special guest with us, Austin, my friend for a couple of years now. We started playing Commander together in 2016, back in high school.
There, yeah.
And we've been hanging out off and on since then. We're really excited to have you today.
Well, thank you for having me on. I've always loved listening to Magic podcasts, and being a part of one makes me happy.
So Austin, our first episode, we ended up talking about, we introduced ourselves as our colors, the preferred color pairings that we like to play, you know, maybe a Ravnica guild or something like that, as well as where we fell on like the Timmy Spike spectrum that people in the community really like to associate themselves with. So I was wondering if you had something like that for us so everybody can get a little bit more familiar with you right away.
Yeah, definitely. Throughout playing Magic, I've kind of developed a Grixis identity. I really like red and black particularly, but when all three colors are combined, I don't know, it just makes me feel at home. I looked at the MTG Wikipedia page online, and it had all the different archetypes for players, like Cameron was saying, and I found a few that kind of hit home to me. So the first one is a subcategory of Timmy. It's actually the diversity gamer. So the brief synopsis of it is they like exploring all aspects of formats and deck building. I have, I believe, around 35 Commander decks now, and most of them have a different... Oh, I know.
I thought I had a lot. I'm sitting at like 17 or something like that.
I have 8.
Hey, you'll accumulate debt someday.
You'll come around.
I already have debt.
But yeah, most of those decks are different, I'd say. Most of them are black and red, just as I said before. Those colors speak to me. But yeah, that's basically who I am and what I like to play.
Cool. Do you have like a specific deck that if somebody asked you, hey, what do you play, you would say?
Yeah, right now it's definitely my Marchesa deck, the Grixis one, the Dethrone. All about theft and just messing with the board.
That one's a monster. I've played against it once or twice.
Super fun to pilot, I'll say that much.
Cool. Well, thank you very much. Eric's going to introduce what we're doing today.
Yeah, so today we thought it would be really cool to play a little game. We have been keeping track of Magic cards. Everyone does, you know, want to see their value, what happens to them. Is the card you pulled going to be super high, or is it going to tank? And that's always something that's in the back of some Magic players' minds, even if it's not all value. So we wanted to play a little game of higher or lower with our Magic cards today. And would you like to care to explain it?
Yeah, I thought it'd be interesting if we all prepared 5 cards that are of particular interest to the Commander format specifically, because that's what we all play primarily. Cards in the meta, both casual and CEDH, cards you see everywhere, and talk about what their prices are now, what they maybe have been before, and the implications for why cards are the prices they are at the moment. And to do that, we're gamifying it. So all of us brought our 5 cards of interest, and we looked at the prices, and we're going to introduce the cards one at a time and say what a price of the card might be, and then say higher, lower, or accurate. So, for instance, if I were to pick like Sol Ring, right, and I said Sol Ring is a $2 card. Is that high, or is it higher than $2, lower than $2, or is that an accurate price?
I'd say it's lower.
I'd say it's pretty accurate.
And then maybe I don't remember what the price of a Sol Ring is right now. Is it like $1.50?
It's somewhere around there, yeah.
So that's the gist of it, is we'll name a price. It might be bogus. It might be accurate. But the point of it is to set up an interesting conversation about why a card is the price it is. Does that make sense to you two?
Absolutely.
All right. Hope it makes sense to the listeners.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out. We'll all figure it out as we go along.
Hopefully.
Definitely.
So, Austin, as our esteemed guest,
That's
would
me.
you like to join, or would you like to start us off? You're already joining us. Would
I
you
would
like
hope
to-
so.
You're kicked out.
All right, bye.
Would you like to start us off with your first card? And to reiterate one more time, you will introduce the card, its rules text or an abridged version of it, and then you'll name a price, and then we will have to determine if the actual price is higher, lower, or accurate to the price that you brought to us.
You got it. So for my first card, this card has been talked about a lot recently, mostly due to the last set coming out for Commander Legends, Battle for Baldur's Gate. This is the Dragon. So Dragon costs 4 white, blue, black, red, green, all 5 colors.
Wooberg.
For a legendary 10/10 dragon avatar. It has an Eminence ability, which reads, as long as the Dragon is in the command zone or on the battlefield, other dragon spells you cast cost 1 generic less to cast. It also has a pretty neat ability. Whenever one or more dragons you control attack, draw that many cards. Then you may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. This only has one official printing in Commander 2017, but it also did get a secret layer as part of the Kaleidoscope Killer set. So the price I have for you, gentlemen, today is $80. Do you think the Dragon is higher than $80, lower than $80, or about accurate?
I swear if it's higher, I'm gonna blow a gasket. Like, that's a lot of money for a cardboard
Definitely.
card.
I mean, I know the strongest, or considered the strongest Eminence card is Edgar Markov.
I'd say so.
That's like triple digits at this point. So 80 isn't out of the realm of possibility, especially with all the new dragons. Eric, what do you think? High, low, or accurate?
I think it's lower. I think it's lower not because like it's like, oh, it's not $80, it's like $50. I think this card is going to be around like $68. I think it's going to be expensive.
Okay.
But I don't think it's $80.
I'm going to say lower, and I'm going to say lower because I think the more popular dragon commander for 5 colors is Scion of the Dragon. And while Dragon itself is popular, I don't think it's monopolizing the meta of 5-color dragons in the same way Edgar does Mardu vampires.
Okay. Both pretty valid reasonings there. And you both are correct.
Yes.
I'm so pleased. I would be livid, just like Eric, if that was an $80 card.
Well, last I checked from TCG Player Market Price, it is $75.16.
It's not that much lower.
It's not that much lower.
Oh no.
God. See, this is why I wanted to reprint it in Double Masters. I wanted the Eminence, or at least Dragon and Markov reprinted in Double Masters, just because they shouldn't be that high.
Right.
Like, at all.
Yes, this card did spike recently due to all of the dragon support from the second Commander Legends set. And this card, as I said before, hasn't gotten an official reprint in a set that you can pull packs from. All it has is a secret layer print, which is also at $88 for that version. So good luck.
Good luck indeed.
It's not like Crater Huff, where you can get the silly version for $2 cheaper.
Right. Yes,
Dang.
that one is more expensive.
Dang, dang, dang.
I mean, am I wrong in saying that, like, Scion of the Dragon is just a better 5-color dragon commander? 'Cause I know it's got all of the combos where you can cast Scion, turn it into a card with haste, or turn it into a card with unblockable by using the ability, and then after nobody declare blockers, almost like ninjutsu, you can change it into something with a really important combat damage trigger and get people.
Right.
And that's been the thing forever. You know, and especially with the new dragons, you run like the Black Dragon, or I forget the name of them. The Black Dragon, is it the Ancient Brass Dragon or
Right.
the Ancient Copper Dragon, the red one?
Yes.
Where it's like you go in, you Scion your way into an unblockable or a trampler or something like that, and then after the damage is dealt or nobody declares blocks, you shift it into one of these dragons that on combat damage make you 11.5 treasures or resummon the Ancient Brass Dragon that you just binned to Scion's effect. I feel like that's just better than Dragon.
It's definitely a valid deck. I know a lot of people like the Scion, and a lot of people like the Dragon. I know the Dragon was the face for the Commander 2017 deck, And so a lot of people still use him to this day, and I think Eminence is one of the most busted mechanics ever. Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we're forgetting about one Wooburg dragon, and I'm so... Tiamat. Y'all just skipped on Tiamat.
A little bit.
Yeah, that's a good... It's not like... Okay, I think Scion and Erd Dragon are better than Tiamat, but the flavor of Tiamat... I'm saying Tiamat a lot. It's because I like Tiamat. Just getting 5 dragons feels like you're playing powerful magic.
You can get all of the ancient dragons from Baldur's Gate with Tiamat.
Ooh, I don't like that you said that. No one used that. They probably already did. It's too
I'm
late.
a little embarrassed. I think I'm the only person behind this microphone right now that doesn't know Tiamat's rules text.
Oh, really?
Okay. Cameron.
So
Well, have
while
fun.
you guys continue vamping, I'm going to get educated.
It's not that good. It's like, okay. Yeah.
All right, it's another 5-color dragon god. When it enters the battlefield, if you cast it, you get 5 dragons not named Tiamat that have different names from your deck and put them in your hand. Okay,
Right.
I follow the conversation now. I was lagging a little bit.
Yeah. Cool card. But yeah.
Cool.
So,
Interesting. Good start, Austin.
Well,
that's a
thank
good
you.
one. Yeah.
What price do you think the Ur Dragon should be?
What it should be at?
Should be.
It's a good
Like,
question.
if it got reprinted in Double Masters 2022, what price would the Ur Dragon be at now?
I know on release, the Ur Dragon was around $15, dollars and it had a low point of around 3, which is pretty insane to think about for that card. I would consider maybe $20. I'd say that's probably the good point. I don't think any card should be $80 around.
Yeah.
Just because it has one printing, you know.
Yeah. Looking at you, Doc's side. Yeah, 15. I agree. That's the exact thing I was thinking, was 15 is a good margin for a card.
I could see, even with a reprint, I could see it sitting somewhere around like 25 or 30 before I say that it's too much.
Probably.
I would like for it to be at 15.
Popularity's sake makes it spike.
Yup.
Definitely.
I'm looking at you. What's the name of the card? I'm so bad at card
Is it
names
Doc?
nowadays.
Is it Doc's side again?
No, it's the treasure enchantment that isn't on my radar because I don't play CEDH.
Treasure enchantment.
Smothering Tide?
Smothering Tide.
That's it.
Smothering Tide dropped like $5 after the reprint just
Yeah,
because
it's still going up.
Yeah.
That's
Anyways,
unfortunate.
Yeah. Well,
cool. All right.
I think I'll start us off with our second card here. So what I got today is a staple, or used to be staple, of Elder Dragon Highlander, Phyrexian Arena.
Okay.
So Phyrexian Arena states, at the beginning of your upkeep, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Pretty good. It's a 3-drop enchantment. It's a rare. It's seen a couple of reprints here and there. I will like to wager $17 for Phyrexian Arena.
I'm going to immediately say lower, and I think it is substantially lower.
Really?
I'm going to say that card is like $3 tops.
Bold.
Yeah.
I know
No
it's
love.
good, but I don't think it's that good. I don't think it's more expensive than 10, and they keep printing cards that are better than Phyrexian Arena. I haven't heard people talk about Phyrexian Arena since 2017. I think it's like $3.
Okay. I'm also going to say lower. I don't think it's $3, but I think it's somewhere around $15, $13. I know it's always been around there, but it's kind of fallen out of favor for new cards like Black Market Connections. That card
good
is
card.
insane, by the way. But yeah, I think it's a little lower.
And you're both correct. Phyrexian Arena is currently sitting around $13 as
Okay.
of today.
Okay.
Is there an enchantment version that you enchant a land and that gets Phyrexian Arena's ability?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
There probably is.
It's Underworld Connections.
I'm thinking of that card.
Okay.
That card can't be very expensive,
I
right?
don't think
I-
it's
but,
more than
like,
$1.
Phyrexian Arena. Okay, sure. I'll take the L on that one. I was thinking of the aura, the enchant land aura, not
No,
just
no.
the like basic enchantment.
No, it's a basic enchantment. But here's the thing about Phyrexian Arena is that its starting price was $3. And then it slowly
Okay.
crept up, and around August 31st, it shot all the way up to like $35. which
Wow.
is not August 31st. This is April 8th, 2021. It shot up to $35. And I don't know if that's like a game night thing. I don't know if that's just people want card draw in black because they don't think black has enough card draw and they're just afraid to prick themselves. But honestly, this card shouldn't be $13. I feel like this is a card that would be like, oh, cool, $3 budget rare, like you were saying, because I don't run this card in any of my decks that have black in it. Literally any of them. So...
Yeah, I have it in one of my black decks. I believe it was a Mystery Booster, and I opened it as a rare, and at the time it was around $20. So I was like, oh, sweet, this can go in my mono-black Liliana deck. And I have replaced it with Black Market Connection since that card came out, but Phyrexian Arena still has a place in my heart.
It's a cool card. The art's cool. I like
Definitely.
I don't play black, and when I play black, I'm playing aristocrats, not value. And so I've never really used like the Dark Confidant or the Phyrexian Arena effects.
You're telling me you never used Bob?
I
Bobby?
think I played Party Bob twice, and then I took the deck apart and gave away the Party Bob.
Party Bob.
So, I mean, I get it. It's just not where I like to play, so I'm not really
Fair enough.
on the pulse with that one.
You got it.
Yeah. Well, that's Phyrexian Arena. Not much more to say about that one. It's just a card that was overhyped, and then everyone's like, hey, this isn't good, and it's been shooting down ever since.
I would say it's drawing extra cards for... Is it like a 3-mana enchantment? Just an extra card and losing a life is pretty... It's good. It's not great, but I mean, you compare that to something like Staff of Nin, where it's a 6-mana artifact. At your upkeep, you draw a card, and it taps to shoot somebody for 1. You're drawing 3 more cards
Absolutely.
for 3 less mana when if you play that on curve. And so I get it. But it definitely, I don't think that's like a $15 card.
Not at all.
Yeah, definitely not nowadays.
Cool. Anything else on that? Or should I take the baton?
Go ahead.
Nice, short and sweet one. The card I am presenting first, and this... Ooh, tangent! Woo, 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 woo. That was so smooth. I think now should be a good time for us to discuss where we're getting these prices from. That way people are informed before we get in too deep. We should have mentioned this earlier, but... well. So, I am looking at TCG player market price when I name the current cost of these cards, and I'm looking at MTG Goldfish price history, because MTG Goldfish, their price history is pretty thorough from my experience and goes past a year, unlike the TCG player list, at least from my initial digging.
Right.
Are you both looking at those? Did we decide on that metric?
Yeah, I believe we're all looking at the same site, for sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I'm looking at cheapest printing when I'm mentioning how much you can get it for currently,
Right.
and I'm looking at original printing when considering the price margins of the card, whether where it used to be and where it could be going.
Absolutely.
Yeah? Is that the same thing for everyone else?
All on the same page.
Sweet. So now you know. That's where these numbers are coming from. I know we've got secret layers, we've got alternate printings, we've got reprints, we got foil jobs. We can talk about all of that, but we're just talking about the current cheapest card and the original printing for all of this. Okay, I will finish my tangent. And my card, the first card I'm bringing, is a nod to my partner and her oppressive Atraxa Praetor's Voice Planeswalker deck list. I am bringing to the table Atraxa Praetor's Voice. Legendary creature, Angel Horror. It is green, white, blue, and black. And it is a 4/4 with flying, vigilance, death touch, and lifelink. And at the beginning of your end step, you proliferate. I see people building this as +1/+1 counters. I've seen people do jank like charge counter synergy and go Atraxa artifacts. And in our possession, in our play group, we have Atraxa Planeswalkers. So this is very popular, very versatile. It's 4 colors. It has seen a couple of reprints. But even through all the reprints, it is still a name in the game. People know this card, and they respect it. The price I am suggesting this card could be is $24. Do you think it is higher, lower, or accurate? Austin?
I'm going to say higher. I think this is a card. Its last reprint was Double Masters, the original one. And I know it just got a secret layer job recently. But I believe that this card still holds its value. It is the most popular deck on EDH Rec as of, I think I checked 2 days ago, and it was number 1. So
I thought Corvold was the top for a while.
I think he's in the top 5.
Traxa took the baton back.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's a Traxa, then like Kenrith.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I believe the Trax is higher than $30 or 20.
I said 24.
24. Yes,
Making it spicy and not in multiples of 5.
correct. But yeah, I think she's higher. I'll
Do you
say
have a-
$35.
35, okay.
Yeah.
I think it's accurate. I feel like this card has so much love for it that like it's so Double Masters, its original printing, multiple secret layer drops, I believe, or is it just a new Capenna one? There might be
I
more.
mean, it's been in a Commander anthology. It was originally printed in a Commander Precon. It's been in Double Masters.
It's probably in the mystery boosters. So I think $24 sounds pretty good for this card. So I'm gonna say accurate.
All right. This card, when you look at the MTG Goldfish price graphs, it looks like a wave in the middle of a thunderstorm.
Oh, really?
Like it's up and down, but down is never lower than like $17. Currently, we're going up. It is worth about, Austin was right,
Wow.
it is higher. It is worth about $33
was so
on
close.
TCG Player
Oh
right
my
now.
god.
But that is not. That's just because that's where it's moving right now. It has been seen as cheap as $8 on release after its biggest spike in Ikoria, where it was $55.
Insane.
It's dropped down to about 17 around call time. But it's climbing again. It hasn't seen a reprint in a while, and so it's moving its way back on up to about $33.
Awesome.
I think I got my Atraxa for about $21, $22.
Okay.
Which is kind of where I got the number from. That's about where I purchased it. And I think it's a fair number to say that somewhere between like $20 and $25 I think is fair for a card so versatile, so interesting. I'm high on the card.
Absolutely. I just wish she was 5 colors so I can have a Phyrexian complete tribal deck.
But the flavor.
I get it.
Now hear me out. And you
Mr.
don't have
Dragon.
to hear me out. You don't have to agree. What if Atraxa could have the Guild Artisan background
Now we're talking.
from Baldur's Gate?
What does that one do again?
It's whenever a commander you control hits a player, if they have the highest life total, you get 2 treasure tokens. And then it gives them the red color identity.
Oh, fair.
It's just to get that 5th pip.
I mean, or you could play Prismatic Piper.
Oh, Piper.
Or the Faceless one.
The faceless one back.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
you don't need value, you just need the color.
Yeah. I have an interesting story about Atraxa's price history, if you're interested.
Sure.
Just a brief tangent. The reason, at least in my opinion, my suspected opinion,
There we go.
I found it, is that at War of the Spark, the rule for proliferate changed from you can add 1 counter on each of your permanents to you can add 1 counter of every type of counter on the permanent. Which means if you have a charge counter, a +1/+1 counter, and, oh, let's get crazy, a loyalty counter on the same permanent, proliferate lets you put 1 of each of those on instead of putting 1 out of those on. And it started a price spike right around War of the Spark because of that, along with all of the other Planeswalker prints. But it wasn't until Ikoria where everybody got very hyped about keyword counters and cards that deal with counters more.
Right.
And so it spiked up there, and I think specifically the Ozolith is likely the reason why Atraxa was so expensive. Along with everything else. I think that's like the catalyst of why it shot up to 55. And then it just tanked to 17 by the time call time rolled around, and I again suspect it's probably because all of the keyword counter synergies didn't work very well.
Could be. I believe Double Masters, the original one, was the summer after Ikoria. So that might have also brought it down just because it did get that much needed reprint. But yeah, I know Ozolith is a great card.
Yeah.
I want it for Animar so bad.
It's about $10. You got a $10 bill in your pocket?
No,
Yeah.
I will tomorrow.
Hey.
Perfect.
All right. Well, we're through our first round. Austin, do you want to take us on to your second card?
Would I? All right. So last time we had a very pricey card in the Ur-Dragon. This time I'm going to go a bit on the other side of the price spectrum. We're going to go with Urabrask the Hidden. I mentioned Phyrexians earlier, and here's one of the Praetors. So, Urabrask the Hidden costs 3 red for a 4/4 legendary creature, Phyrexian Praetor. He has 2 abilities. Creatures you control have haste, and creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. Pretty oppressive card, like all the Praetors are. I know this one is widely regarded as maybe the weakest one, or not so much the game-breaking one.
I regard it like that.
Yeah, it's
But-
pretty weak compared to the rest, yeah.
Yeah, still holds his own, but how about the price? The price I'm going to give you folks is $5. Is Urabrask the Hidden higher or lower than $5?
Eric?
My soul says lower because I think it should be lower, but I think its status as a Praetor and the fact that it's a Praetor and the fact that it's better than the one that was just printed, because that one's horrible.
Yeah, arguably.
It's got to be like $7, $8, probably
Okay.
$8 is
$8
what I think. Yeah, so higher.
I was going to say accurate, but I think if we're talking in margins of like $1 to $10, it would probably be more accurate of me to say higher by like $1 or $2.
Okay.
I could see it being $6 or $7, but that round number of 5 is more or less accurate in my assumption.
Okay. So $8, around 6 or 7. You
Yeah.
both say higher. The answer is lower.
Oh no.
As of the date we are recording this,
Yes.
Urabrask the Hidden's cheapest price on TCG Player is $1.49.
Oh,
buddy.
God, what?
It
How the
was
mighty have fallen.
just
huh?
reprinted.
Well,
in-
how the mediocre have fallen more.
Yes. It was just reprinted actually in one of the Commander Legend Commander decks.
Oh, that'll
So
be it.
that drove that card down to $1.50 for that
Which one
copy.
was it?
It was the Gruul, I believe it's Exit
Oh,
from
yeah.
Exile.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
with the Jessica's Will reprint. So everyone bought those, which made Urabrask more in
Tank.
circulation and
Yes.
make him tank. Oh, no.
So what I'm trying to say with this pick up your Urabrask while they're $1.50. You probably won't regret it when it goes up to $4 in
Yeah,
2
it's
years.
like if all of us are considering it might be worth about $6, getting one for $1.50 is definitely a good shout if you're interested in getting that OG Praetor.
Absolutely. I like this card a lot, so $1.50 is a good spot for it.
Yeah, creatures coming in tapped is a lot better of an effect than people realize, because that means any combat tricks with a flash creature are null and void with no blocks.
Right.
They can't block. Any sort of like, big creature that comes out cannot block in the next turn. Like, you play your Tenten, okay, I can still swing out at you for
Yeah.
whatever, because that comes in tapped.
And it's also great against the other aggro decks because all of the haste creatures from opponents can't attack.
Exactly.
It's a good effect. I would say maybe it's not worth the, 6 or 7 mana?
5.
Oh, it's only 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, I could see it at 4 or 5 mana. It's definitely less oppressive than the other Praetors, but
Definitely.
Yeah,
it's not bad. It just isn't game breaking.
Yeah, it's no Praetor that makes your 3/3s comparable to your 7/7s.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's...
We're looking at you, Elishnor.
Elishnor, that's a theme.
Just a side note on Urabrask. On release, it was actually around $7.50. I believe its high was around $13 or $14 a few years ago. But yeah, it's gotten a few printing since. It was in that secret layer with all the Phyrexian ink on the cards. super pretty. I definitely did not pick up 3 of those.
Definitely didn't.
Yes. But yeah, I honestly say pick up Urabras now while you can.
Yeah, respect it. Good shout.
Mm-hmm.
Eric?
That's it. Urbrask. Do it. That's all I got, man.
Oh, I meant what's your card?
Oh.
No, that's his card too.
Yeah, mine's Urbrask. It's the new one.
Urbrask,
This
yeah.
is the new one.
50 cents. All right,
No,
no.
the Dranith combos legal. Isn't that is Ikoria legal in standard? I haven't
No,
played standard
it got out.
in ages.
It's been out for a little bit.
Maybe Pioneer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. My card that I want to present to you right now is the, I guess, infamous at this point because it's a nutty card, Chain of Smog.
Okay.
This card is a weird one and doesn't sound good at first. Chain of Smog is 1 and a black for a sorcery, and it's an uncommon, I believe, from Onslaught. It says, target player discards 2 cards from his or her hand. That player may copy this spell and may choose a new target for that copy. So, like, kind of like a chain vapor effect, if you know about that one. Cool, discard, won't win you the game. Maybe.
Or will it?
Or will it?
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, and I want to present to you the price of Chain of Smog being at $7. Is this higher, lower, or accurate?
So before we get to the price, just for context for the folks who don't know, could you introduce us to Chain of Smog combos?
Yeah, so Chain of Smog... I'll say this because it doesn't give it away. Chain of Smog was like a 10-cent, 25-cent card all the way up until Strixhaven, where Magecraft became a thing.
What's Magecraft, Eric?
Well, Magecraft basically just has like the starting words whenever you cast or copy a spell. And you can discard your hand or discard 2 cards without actually discarding cards based off the rules of Magic the Gathering. So with any like Magecraft creature out like Witherbloom Apprentice that says whenever you cast or copy spell, you gain 1, everyone loses 1. Or Professor Onyx, a 6-drop Planeswalker, same effect, but it's you gain 2, everyone loses 2. This just ends the game on the spot, which is insane. It's an awesome combo, pretty similar to like a Thoracle combo, I would say.
Foreshadowing.
So yeah, that's why Chain of Smog is in contention with the community. Not like a bad thing, but just like where did this card come from? So yeah, $7, higher or lower?
Oh boy. I think it goes infinite with multiple cards, and it's still pretty fresh. The only thing I don't know about is whether or not Chain of Smog is ran everywhere, or if it's just ran in my circles. The same way like a Thoracle combo is, you just know what the Thassa's Oracle combos are.
Right.
Is the Chain of Smog interaction widely used, like in gameplay?
I'd say so.
Yeah?
It's pretty well known. Yeah.
Then I'm going to argue it's more expensive. I think it could be around $10.
Okay.
Yeah, Austin?
It's kind of hard. I think 10's a pretty good spot for it. I'm gonna say it's a little higher. I actually agree with Cameron on this one.
All right, well, you're both right.
Hooray.
Chain of Smog is a $9 card. In fact, it's exactly $9.74.
I take it. That's
Yeah.
$10 rounded.
Yeah.
Air 5. Boom. Yeah.
Yeah, Chain of Smog, like I said, was a 25-cent card for since Onslaught? That's like 10 plus years until Strixhaven with Magecraft. And when like Strixhaven spoilers and that set came out, it spiked all the way to $29
Oh man.
for this card. Which is, I mean, Witherbloom Apprentice and Chain of Smog is either 3 or 4 mana infinite combo.
Yeah.
Which is super cheap, super usable, CDH viable, casual viable if you want to have a good Rule Zero conversation. And
For another day.
This can probably be seen in I could see this in Vintage or whatever decks allow internal formats, Legacy or Modern. I can see Witherbloom Apprentice and Chain of Smog just kind of being a staple there for a while because it is pretty strong.
Right. I know the Chain of Smog was in Onslaught, and they add that Chain of cycle, with Chain of Acid being the green one. That also can rely itself to Magecraft combos, because its rules text is destroy target non-creature permanent, then that permanent's controller may copy the spell and choose a new target for the copy. So what you do is you target your own indestructible permanent and copy it over and over, targeting the same permanent.
Gruul Breast Hunter combo!
I'm gonna note, a Darksteel Relic exists. 0 mana artifact with indestructible.
Pick it up today.
Non-creature. Here's your combo. Here's your combo alert for the day.
Did you just tell people to pick up a 2-mana infinite combo to destroy everyone's board? I don't like that. I don't like that one bit, actually. That's just wrong.
Anyways. Oh, I mean, and that works in the... Golgari is the...
Yeah.
Right? The Golgari Magecraft, the Witherbloom Apprentice?
Yep.
Yes.
So you can go Chain of Acid, Darksteel Relic, Chain of Smog, Witherbloom Apprentice, Professor Onyx, and just have the Magecraft chain combo deck.
Oh,
Absolutely.
no.
We're cursed.
No. Stop that.
All right.
All right, moving on.
Hard tangent. Woo! No, that's really interesting.
Absolutely.
Proud of us for guessing the price of that.
Yeah, we were really close.
Can't believe cards like that. I mean, I know you don't think about Eternal formats, especially Eternal formats Eternal sets that old when you're designing new cards. But finding those combos, those super niche interactions with new mechanics mixed with cards from the 2000s, I think it's incredible. That's the sort of stuff I love about playing Eternal formats, is being able to take a 50-cent card and make it a $10 meta breaker. I love it.
Yeah.
It's the hotness.
It's the hotness. All right. Well, if nobody has anything else, we're going to go to the CEDH combo of the year, or of the 2 years, or of however long it's been released.
Or until it gets banned.
I'm going to talk about Thassa's Oracle.
Fish.
Everybody knows Thassa's Oracle if you're watching Playing with Power or the CEDH YouTube channels, or if you're playing it yourself, you know. You do you. I've got one in the cube, but I'm not running the combo with it. It's just there to be a lab man. And even then, it's better than Lab Man and Jace Wielder of Mysteries for sure. Thassa's Oracle. It is a 2 mana, and it's 2 blue pips for a 1/3 Merfolk Wizard. When it enters the battlefield, you look at the top X cards of your library, where X is your devotion to blue, minimum 2, because Thassa is 2 blue pips. Put 1 on top, the rest at the bottom in a random order. And if X is greater than or equal to the number of cards in your library, you win the game. You see this comboed with a couple of different cards that just, for super cheap, exile or remove your entire library. And for 3 or 4 mana, just like a Chain of Smog combo we were talking about, you can just go from not doing anything to winning the game, and then just holding up responses to protect the combo. And that's what you see. That's the meta right now, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. In CDH.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that and Ad Naz are like I'm going to win, and I have 5 counterspells in my hand.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I know this one, it might be... You both might already know the price. But... So you guys, you might both already know the price of this card, just by nature of it being so popular. But I'm going to see if maybe I can get you.
Okay.
I haven't looked it up in a long time.
Thassa's Oracle is a $15 card.
$15, huh?
It's got to be higher. There's no way. That's got to be higher.
Let's see, this came out in Theros Beyond Death.
Theros
correct?
Beyond Death.
Okay.
Theros Beyond Death.
It's here, Theros Beyond Death.
I'm not going to attempt that.
I don't blame you.
Save yourself the humiliation, Eric. Run away.
I'm gonna go lower.
Lower.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's around there. I'm gonna say maybe $11.
Yeah. The last time I looked it up, it was $12.79. That was like, I think I traded you my Thassa's. No, I traded you a Miss Miracle Orb. But I had to look up Thassa's during that time because those two also love each other. And yeah, it was $12.79 at the time, and I just can't help but think it's spiked since then. So,
Well, imaginary drum roll here. Thassa's Oracle is $10 to $11 depending on the source.
Oh my
oh
god.
really?
Yep. I mean, it's only a rare,
It should
and
be
it
more
was printed in
expensive.
the last 2 years.
That card should be less accessible. I want less people to have
And
it.
it slowly started getting banned. At least
Oh,
the combos
yeah.
slowly started getting banned. But the highest it ever was $15 during
Okay.
Strixhaven. And the reason it was $15 at Strixhaven was because Strixhaven printed the Mystical Archive cycle, which included Tainted Pact,
Oh yeah.
which is the other card that wins the game with Thassa's Oracle other than Demonic Consultation.
Right.
And the thing is the Mystical Archive cards were historic legal in Magic the Gathering Arena. And so a huge portion of the player base, all of a sudden, was legally allowed to play Thoracle Tainted Pact in their historic games. And at that point in time, with the Tainted Pact reprint, it spiked up to 15, and the lowest it's been since was $8 at Crimson Vow. Yeah, so that's Thoracle. He was $250 at release.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I didn't bring Demonic Consultation as a card option, but Demonic Consultation follows basically the exact same line of spikiness. It spiked when Thoracle printed.
How much?
Spiked again at Strixhaven, and then it started moving down a
How
little
much is a demonic consultation?
bit. I didn't prep that.
It's probably going to be like. It hasn't been printed a lot.
I think it's $15-ish.
It's somewhere around
I think
there,
it's
yeah.
somewhere around there. I don't know for certain.
So you're telling me I can have an easy 3-mana infinite combo for $25?
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's not
You
okay.
can put it in your Toxrill deck. We're going to slowly keep building the lore of Eric's Toxrill deck from episode to episode. It's going to be a great time.
I still haven't played against it.
There's no Korma spell in there yet.
Yep.
Yep.
Don't
Yeah.
say yet.
Yet.
No, yet. It's
oh
a yet.
man.
It's a yet.
I need a CEDH deck. All right. Yeah, nope. Demonic is 15, by the way.
There it
Perfect.
is.
So yeah, $27 gets you a win almost every time. All right.
Love it.
And with your Spell Pierces and Mana Leaks reprinted in Double Masters 22, you can protect it for cheap.
You know, from one blue card to another, I have my next pick.
All right.
And instead of creatures, we're going to look at an enchantment. I have Intruder Alarm. This is a very janky, to put it the least, card. It costs 2 and a blue for an enchantment, and it says creatures don't untap during their controller's untap steps. It also says whenever a creature comes into play, you untap all creatures. This card, it's been printed a few times. I could probably count them on my hand. But it always seems to go up when a certain card gets printed and then slowly back down until it goes up again. So my price that I want you to debate is $15.
For Intruder Alarm.
Higher, lower, or do you think that's accurate?
Can you remind me of the rarity of this card?
Yes, this card is a rare.
Okay. When was it printed first?
It was first printed in Stronghold, I believe.
Okay.
Which is super old.
I'm gonna say that's accurate, but I mean that in the sense of it might be like $2 high or low.
Okay.
But I think that number is a nice round number that I could see this card being worth.
Yeah, I actually was looking at this card when I was trying to find infinite combos for untapping creatures with Halo Fountain.
Ooh.
So that was a little bit ago, but based off that knowledge, I think it is higher. Like last time I saw it, it was like I think it was like either 1725 or 2325.
Okay.
So it's I think it's higher.
You think it's higher? Mm-hmm. All right. So Intruder Alarm is $10.38.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
So a little cheaper. But I know it's cooling off after spiking from Neon Kamigawa, where one card in particular made this card go way up, and that is Shorikai Genesis Engine. Because if you crew Shorikai Genesis Engine, he is a creature that you pay 1 mana and tap it to draw 2 cards and discard a card. And then you make a 1/1 pilot creature token.
Oh, infinite.
So then the pilot comes in, Intruder Alarm untaps a Shorikai, you spend 1 more mana, you loot 2 more cards in your deck, and if you pair this with something like
Ashnod's.
an Ashnod's Altar or anything like that.
That one new one from Capenna where you draw a card, you gain 1, everyone loses 1. You know, that one doesn't need more evidence with it. It's
Absolutely.
Quasar.
Yes. Yeah, Intruder Alarm went up to around $32 when Shorikai got announced. And it's been going down steadily, but still a card to look out for.
It sounded like such a volatile card on the market. It was either you found a new combo with it and everybody wanted it, or nobody knew it existed because there wasn't anything to play around it, and everybody already knew what you could currently play around.
Exactly.
So
Now hear me out. Someone please help. If there's any way to make a combo with Intruder Alarm and Halo Fountain, tell me. I looked for days.
he's been trying for a while, yeah.
I want that to be a thing.
Gotta find all the white pips. Time to invest in fast mana and dual lands, Eric.
Nope.
How else are you going to find the combo, though?
I know.
Proxies.
I agree. We ain't got money for that.
Nope.
Yeah. All right. Very interesting. I didn't know that card existed, so it was an interesting conversation.
Card.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Eric, what's your next card?
Well, speaking about Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, I actually have a card from that set.
So many clean tangents.
Oh, yeah.
Heck yeah.
This card is Fable of the Mirror Breaker.
Ooh.
It's Kiki Jiki, but if Kiki Jiki wasn't broken, basically. So this card was a rare from Neon Dynasty. It sat at 50 cents for a while until it started to rise. Now, is the card risen to $5, or do you think it's lower or higher?
I've been watching more gameplay now that I've been exposed to Double Masters content and I'm not staying off of the internet, and I feel every game of Magic the Gathering Arena either has the commentator playing Fable of the Mirror Breaker or them trying to beat a Fable of the Mirror Breaker deck. I know it's recent, I know it's a rare, but that has not stopped rares like Ledger Shredder from climbing up to 10 plus. I imagine this card is... What number did you say again?
5.
5. I imagine it's higher. I could see this being around $9.
Okay.
I could see it being $9, and I wouldn't be shocked if it was anywhere to like 14 or 15.
Yeah, I think this is a very good card in Standard. And I have it in my Goblin Tribal deck in EDH as well. But I'd say $5 is a good spot for it. But Neon Kamigawa is a set a lot of people are cracking as well. So I don't know if that's just going to put more copies on the market or anything like that.
It's an important thing to think about.
But, you know, I'm also going to say higher. I think it's not too much higher, maybe like $2, but I'm going to say it's higher.
You'd both be correct, but this card is a lot higher than $5. It's like 11, I think it's 11.37.
Gotcha.
I said somewhere between like 9 and 15, so...
When this was released, when this card, like this set was released, this card was sitting at 50 cents for like a couple weeks. And then Pioneer just said, ooh, value, gimme. And let me read off the text of this card, and you'll see why this card just, it's not like broken, but it gives you so much value.
Okay.
So it's one of the enchantment flip sagas. So the first one says, create a 2/2 red goblin shaman that has, whenever this creature attacks, create a treasure token. So it's currently a 3 mana 2/2 that gives you a treasure token. You could see that being a bulk uncommon, but that's just the first part of this. The second part says, you may discard up to 2 cards if you do draw that many. So then it's like a Thrill Possibility or Cathartic Reunion, fills up your hand, and then you flip it into a Kiki Jiki. It's just Kiki Jiki, but instead you have to pay 1 and tap it.
And isn't it non-legendary?
It is non-legendary. You can have multiples of this.
Yep.
So yeah, it's so much incremental value. Like the thing I always feel like the decks that just go snowball decks
Yeah,
are some of
tempo.
the best. It's I don't want to play like an Ulamog just to get killed by your 15 squirrels because you've amassed them from turn 1 to turn 7. That's just how it's going to happen. And this card represents that snowball effect really well, with the giant crash being you getting just a Kiki Jiki.
Red deck wins, baby.
Red deck wins.
RD dub. RD dub.
It's a cool card. I
Yes.
think it's a lot of interesting small abilities that, when put together, are really impactful.
I know when Neon Kamigawa first got announced, I was really hoping for some kind of throwback to Kiki Jiki, just because he's probably my favorite card in the original Kamigawa block. So to see him get a meaningful enchantment like that, it makes my heart happy.
I'm sure it makes a lot of players' heart happy. Kiki Jiki's a very popular card.
Unless you lose to it.
Yeah.
How many times can you lose to Kiki Jiki before you no longer appreciate it?
Maybe like once.
I have not played against a Kiki Jiki player yet, so, I'm
Just wait
safe.
till later tonight.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Well, talk show's coming out.
All right. I was telling these guys earlier, I don't really have my finger on the pulse of standard rotating sets. I haven't since like War of the Spark. So it's another one of those cards that I just, my mind wasn't on it before just like Intruder Alarm. My mind wasn't on it before you brought it up. But it's an interesting thing to think about for sure. Okay. Well, is it my turn?
Yes.
It's my turn!
Let's go.
I'm going to bring out the colorless representative. I think we mentioned it earlier. Am I the only colorless card out of all of us?
Yeah, that's correct.
I'm presenting the only colorless card. It is a Mana Rock. It is a staple in EDH. And it is not Soul Ring. Ha! It's Arcane Signet.
You've bamboozled me.
And I want to check first. We did a little bit of conversating about this. Conversing? Conversating. We did a little bit of conversing before we started the cast about the cards we planned on presenting. That way we didn't present any duplicates. And part of that, I did mention Arcane Signet being on my list. I'm trying to remember if I told you the high price of this card. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Okay. So when this card first released, it was only printed in Throne of Eldraine Brawl decks. And this was before anybody knew that it would be reprinted in every Commander set and Commander Legends type sets. This, that, and the other. And so when it first released, people were buying Brawl decks off the shelves to get their hands on cards like Corvold, Chulane, and Arcane Signet. And because of that, Arcane Signet spiked to, according to MTG Goldfish, around $36 on release.
Insane.
For this uncommon Mana Rock that's no better than a Signet. You just get to run another Signet. And I found that insane, and I fell for it. I went and I bought 2 Brawl decks for way more than they should have been sold for because I wanted Signets, I wanted Corvold, and I wanted Chulane. And since then, the price of this card has tanked because it's been printed everywhere. And for good reason. I think this is an important card to have in a healthy meta, especially for new players, in a time in which WotC is definitely pushing to make Commander an important new player experience and part of the standard lineup, just like Standard.
Right.
Because of that, all the way from its 36, this card is $1.
Oh. Yeah?
High, low,
$1.
or accurate?
Oh.
$1.
I'll give you $1 right now. I'd say it's accurate.
I don't have an Arcane Signet to trade, sorry.
I want my $1 back.
Now, the question comes to, is it lower because it just got reprinted in Baldur's Gate? That's what I'm thinking. I think
Something to think about.
Good question. It was in the first Commander Legends set, too. I know.
I want to say lower, but like 80 cents.
What do
Kind
you
of like how
think?
Path went from $4 to $1 because of
Yeah.
Double Masters 2022.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's accurate. I mean, it might be
$1.
20 or 30 cents off, but I think within the $1 ballpark, that's exactly where it should be.
Hee hee, I got you. It's $1.50. But, you know, I mean, that's a 50% cost increase from that dollar, so I'm going to say I got you.
Even after our super recent reprint of cards that are selling set boosters for $90.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's
good
a
card.
great staple.
Fits in literally any deck.
I feel like Soul Ring and Arcane Signet is never going to be lower than $1, just because you need them.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter how often they get reprinted. Though that said, that extra 50 cents per, it does matter.
Right.
Especially if you're trying to buy in bulk, or if you're trying to buy on a budget. That 50 cents can be the difference of you getting another card or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I've experienced it before, because I've cut cards for $1.50 because I couldn't afford it at that time. So it's interesting. The minutia matters, but overall, I just find the story, the epic, the tragedy of the $36 card tanking all the way down to $1, and I think that's a good thing.
Can I pull up a fun little mini game for you two for a second? What would happen to the price of Soul Ring and Arcane Signet if it wasn't reprinted for an entire year?
Soul Ring and Arcane Signet for an entire year? I have my immediate answer. I think Soul Ring would be about $3.50, and I think Arcane Signet would be $2. I don't think they would either go above $5, just because there's already so much on the market, and 1 year without a reprint, you can just go buy more Baldur's Gate, because the price of that set's just going to continue to tank.
It's getting as low as Crimson Vow.
Yup.
So for the hypothetical here, are we saying they're not going to be printing Commander product for a year? Or are they going to keep printing Commander product, but without those rocks?
Keep printing all the stuff they've been printing, minus the Soul Ring and Arcane Signet.
Are they replacing the ramp slots, or is every Commander deck going to have 2 less ramp cards?
Probably like
And 2 staple ramp cards.
What if they went like, we've heard you. You want better lands in your precons, and you're tired of the Soul Ring reprints. So now we're gonna give you a fetch land in each precon.
That'd be spicy.
I would love that.
It might be something more like a check land in
Yeah.
every precon, where you have to show a basic land of the same type in order to have it enter untapped.
Sort of like
But still.
like a Morphic Pool effect. You pay one and you like a signet for a land.
lands.
Yep.
Faux lands are pretty nice.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think it would increase probably about 100-200% for each card, around $3-4.
Yeah.
Commander players might be in a frenzy because they're not reprinting the Soul Rings anymore.
quick, go buy out all the Soul Rings.
Yeah. All I can think is that if there was a set of Magic the Gathering that just bursted, because what's about to come out? Dominaria United.
Right.
Imagine if a set like that came out and you got all these new players to come play your game and you didn't have those reprinted.
Yeah.
I think that would I would say Soul Ring would probably get to $5 at that point, honestly.
I think the Soul Ring conversation is for another podcast episode, but I could go for a long time about my opinions of Soul Ring and what to do to fix it, and both of you can attest.
Yep.
So it's one of those things I talk about unironically and frequently is the problem of Soul Ring right now, and what I think should be done to it. But I digress.
Another episode.
Well, we've all made it through 3 cards. We do have 2 more presented, but we are approaching an hour very quickly. So I present to you both the speed round.
Speed round.
We had a lot of fun conversation, and I know we're all very excited to share these next 2 cards, so I don't want us to not share them. But I think maybe we can compress it a little bit and just say higher or lower, and in a sentence or 2 explain why.
Okay.
And after we go through the rest of these, we'll do a wrap up.
Sounds good.
Thank you all for joining us thus far. I hope you are enjoying. We might as well keep going.
Yeah.
All right.
Speed round.
My turn. I have another enchantment. This time it's a green-white enchantment. Mirari's Wake.
Mirari's Wake.
Yes.
Love that card.
Absolutely amazing card. Gives your creatures +1/+1, and whenever you tap a land for mana, you add a mana of any type that land produced. So doubles your mana, gives your creatures a buff.
Anthem.
Anthem.
Yes, sir.
3 white and a green. My spot that I'm going to suggest, $4.50
Ooh, very
for
specific.
Mirari's Wake.
Slower. I think it's lower just because I think this card is slept on. Like no one pulls it or no one wants it for some reason. It's probably because it's green and you have so many other...
2 pips. It's green-white.
Yeah, green-white. It's green double pip, and you already have so many other effects like that, like Nyx Bloom Agent, which needs a reprint. Yeah, but I think it's lower.
Okay.
My gut take was $3, somewhere between 3 and 4. The moment you said $4.50, I went, I'm going to say lower.
Okay.
But I would have agreed with you if you said 4.
Okay. Yeah, so it is lower. It is $4.41.
9 cents lower. Okay.
About 9
You were
cents.
it was accurate.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this card's been printed a few times. It was in a C17 Commander deck,
Yeah.
and it got printed in Modern Horizons 2 pretty recently, too. And a lot of those packs were cracked. So that card, very, very cheap. Another card to pick up with your Urabrask.
Someone's laundry's done. It's an Easter egg for everyone who's made it this far.
Put down in the comments, beep, if you heard the laundry.
Please do. It'd be wonderful.
You need 5 E's, though. That's how you know.
Yep, exactly.
All right, locking that one in. Very interesting. Is there a reason why it's that price? Has it been any more or less expensive in past?
I know when it came out, it was around $7.
Oh, yeah.
And at its peak, I want to say 2019-ish, it was around $20, $25.
Ooh.
Just because its last reprint was in a Commander 17 deck that was getting more expensive by the day.
I would much prefer that card to be $4.41.
I'm glad we live in that reality instead of the $25 reality.
All right, let's get some other cards like that, shall we?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
Eric?
My card is one that's been a staple in EDH forever. It is Wrath of God, your quintessential white colored board wipe.
Heck yeah.
All right. We all know what it does. I don't need to explain it.
Destroy all creatures that can't be regenerated.
Yerp, for 4 mana. Is this card $3? Higher or lower? Question mark.
It's $1.50 max.
$1.50 max, huh? I'm going to go 307.
Y'all, this card's still $7.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I was looking at it. I looked on TCG for like median prices. It is $6-7 still. Maybe it's just because it is such a old. I love this card. It's my pet card, or it's this is my opinion. People new to the game get your like Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Wrath of God. They said that's good, which it is. However, me and Cameron have been discussing the white pip board wipe situation for a while now. Farewell, by invitation only, and Vanquish the Horde are so much better than Wrath of God in almost every way. And
Almost, yeah.
as I've seen from Cameron's decks, by invitation only can not only like put away someone else's board, but help your board.
Yeah, play aristocrats, sack your own things.
Yeah,
Butcher of Malakir, double trigger everything.
Absolutely.
but I think just this card's reputation keeps it around $7, and it hasn't gone lower than like $6.50.
I'd be interested to know if anybody listening has information on this that we don't know about, because we very well could be missing something with a lot of these cards, and this might be a card that I need more information on to know why it's still $7.
Right.
I mean, it's officially like the 6th best white board wipe. I
Good
could
one.
already imagine like Tragic Arrogance and stuff like that to be better than it.
Austere Command.
But it's still good.
Yeah.
So I get it. I don't think it should be more than $3.
But they can't be regenerated.
Yeah.
It's very important against your Lotlith trolls.
Yeah.
Any other insight on this one, Austin?
No, not really. I know they printed Day of Judgment, which is just this, but they took off the can't be regenerated clause, and I think that card's still around $5 too.
Really?
I
thought
believe
that card was
so.
also really cheap. I just have one sitting in my bulk.
That's funny. Yeah, I honestly, white wipes, very good cards, so I'm not too surprised to see it at
There's
$7.
a lot of them.
Yes,
so.
especially nowadays.
All right. Well, I'm going to present a very similar card, another smooth tangent from Wrath of God to Blasphemous Act.
Aha.
8 mana and 1 red pip, so 9 CMC. Deal 13 damage to all creatures, and it costs 1 generic mana less for each creature in play. So if there are 8 creatures in play, it is 1 mana to deal 13 damage to every creature. I'm going to suggest that this card is $4.
$4, okay. This is probably my favorite Wrath just because I really love how cheap and versatile it can be, and I have it in almost all of my decks because I am a red player, and we need the help we can. So $4 is a good spot for it. I'm going to say slightly lower. I'm going to say $3.
I'm going to go even lower. I'm going to say like 2. I think this card... It's not like I'm low on this card, but I'm kind of low on this card.
I am high on this card and Chain Reaction. I think both of those board wipes are incredible.
Definitely.
Especially with your Brash Taunters or your Death Triggers or your... There's so many ways that you can make this card a lot better than just a board wipe.
Your new Wrathful Red Dragon from Baldur's Gate.
Yeah. This card is $2.70.
Yep.
So you both were accurate. But as of when Core Set 21 released, it was $8.30 because it had not seen a reprint outside of the Commander products since its original printing in Innistrad. And then immediately after, it got reprinted in Double Masters 1, and it got reprinted in Commander Legends, and the value has just sloped down because of all the reprint. And that's another card. I'm happy that card's cheap.
Yes.
Because I love it.
Definitely.
I wouldn't pay $8 for a Blasphemous Act.
No.
I barely pay $2.70 for a Blasphemous Act.
All right. We've got one more each.
One more
round.
All right.
I'm excited for my last one.
Yeah, I saved the best color probably in our format for last, and this is a green card. It is Avenger of Zendikar.
Love
Big
it.
old plant daddy. Everyone who knows Commander knows this card.
Cabbage Man.
Cabbage Man.
Cabbage Man.
Yeah, this card's 7 mana, 5/5. When it comes into play, you make a 0/1 plant for each land you control, and whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, just put a +1/+1 counter on your little broccoli. Why not? This card's amazing in landfall decks, amazing in most green decks in general, and is a finisher.
Mm-hmm.
So when I pose the price of $8.50, how would you guys respond?
For an Avenger of Zendikar?
Yes.
I'd spend $8.50 on Avenger.
Okay.
I know this card is lower. I haven't looked at it recently, but the last time I looked at it, it was like $4.50. I think this card is lower. I'm high on it. I like it. I want one in my Sakai deck just because if you Mystic Reflection or something, you can have all those come in as just multiple Zendikars, which is really good.
Right.
But I don't think it's $8.50.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Cameron, what are you saying?
I would prefer for it to be like $5, but I would pay $8 for an Avenger of Zendikar if it fit my deck. It's good enough.
Definitely. Well, Avenger Zendikar on release was actually $20. But now it actually just got printed in a Streets of New Capenna Commander deck. So it's $3.25 for the broccoli man.
I'm about to go and buy 3 Avengers of Zendikar for $9 and feel very good about that.
So what did we learn? Get Urbrask.
Get Avenger.
Go get it like a Chain of Smog and make your chain deck. Get Avenger. And don't get Wrath of God.
Yeah. Buy Blasphemous Act before you get Wrath of God.
I agree.
Get the Blasphemous Act to clear all of the little plants.
You can get Farewell if you must, but...
Well, that's farewell to my cards. Eric, what's your last one?
Well, my
Good
last
card.
Yeah, that's a good one. My last card is one that people thought was good. This card is Pact of Negation.
Funny card.
So yeah, this is a neat card, and just the upkeep clause is just like ha. So this card I pose to you $10.
That's the number I initially had in my head, but I had that in my head for when it was actually ran in the meta. Now that it's kind of falling a little bit and it's getting less and less popular, I would say it's lower. I'm going to say something closer to $6.
Okay. I actually looked at this pretty recently, and it was around $9, $10. So I think that's accurate.
Yeah. Well, this card is on a rise a little bit.
Okay.
It's back up to $12.47, which it shouldn't be.
It's like I'm low on counter spells, and I'm also low on Pact of Negation compared to its other Force partners.
Yeah, but this card is a roller coaster on the MTG Goldfish pricings, because it can be seen as high as $50, I believe, around Kaldheim, for some reason.
Cool.
And then as low as 8 at release, and currently at 12. And if you bought this card for $50, I apologize. You could buy 3 of them now and still have $8 for a Vigor.
Oh man, you're giving me flashbacks. I bought an Ugin for like $70, and then a year later it got reprinted in Core 21, and now it's like 20.
28.
And I could have bought 3 Ugins for the price of my one just because I didn't wait an extra year. Yikes.
It happens.
It happens.
Yeah. Well, that's my last card. Can we get to the last
The
card?
card, and this one's got some sentiment to me because I bought this card before the spike.
Ooh.
It's like opposite of Ugin. I bought this card, and then a card got printed, and it jumped. Marilyn of the Morn Song. It's a 3-mana, double black pip, 2/3, black legendary creature. It says, players can't draw cards, and at the beginning of each player's draw step, that player must search their library for a card, put it in their hand, shuffle their library, and lose 3 life. And this card, according to MTG Goldfish, was super cheap. It was printed all the way back in Warwin. It was like $2. And then an M15 Omnixilus Unshackled got printed, which whenever somebody searches their library, they sack a creature and lose 10 life. So that together means you're losing 13 life and sacking a creature by force in mono black. And then Opposition Agent got printed in Commander Legends 1, where whenever somebody searches their library, instead you search their library and you take the card, essentially.
What a nutty card.
What a nutty combo.
So when that happened, this card spiked because there was officially 2 synergy pieces with it. And one of them was nuts. I present to you, this is a $35 card.
Oh, I want this to be low. This is like, what was it? What was the first one we did? The Dragon? Yeah, I want this to be lower. So bad.
Yeah, but is it? Is the question.
Is it? Well, no, we're in black. I want to say it's like 25.
Austin?
Yeah, I know it was around, I think, 40 or 50 when Opposition Agent got spoiled and people connected the dots.
People are still playing it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Don't tell me.
I think it's almost accurate. I want to say $25, $30 for this card.
It was $50 when Opposition Agent got spoiled. It has fallen to $20.
Okay, thank God.
It is lower than 35. I was trying to catch you all on the hype.
Gotcha.
But the fact that this rare from Lorwyn was at one point $50 after being $2 at release is more insane to me than Chain of Smog jumping from 50 cents to $10.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it doesn't even win the game compared to Chain of Smog combos winning the game. You just get to take a card from someone.
And then never get the draw again.
It's good, but you can play around it. You can beat the combo, and it costs 6 mana to do that, not 4. I don't think it ever should have been $50. But it is $20, and it is a CEDH disruption card, and it pairs really well with everybody's favorite Opposition Agent.
Yeah. I know on release also for Commander Legends, Jeweled Lotus is a card. So people are speculating. Dark Ritual turn 1, play your Jeweled Lotus, Marlin Opposition Agent, go. And that's turn 1. So they can't draw any cards unless they have interaction in their hand.
Their opener.
Their opening hand.
Yikes.
That was the big point where people were like, oh wow, this can actually be really good.
So I'm going to take my Jeweled Lotus out of the cube really fast. Because I do own an Op Agent. I opened one in Commander Legends 1.
I'm not playing it.
And I bought Marilyn of the Morn Song at $8 when I built my Omnixilus Unshackled deck list.
Well, I'd like to thank you all for having me on the only episode I'll be a part of.
That's a lie.
Cameron
I'm
is
sure
no
you'll come
longer
back.
my friend. No.
No, I get it. All right.
I'm gonna
hardy har.
I am scared if this ever goes much bigger, and then people are just like, oh, that's a cool deck idea. It's just going to be a new generation of decks of this. And I'm not excited.
Toxtro Thoracle.
No.
Maryland Jeweled Lotus Opposition Agent.
Stop. This is supposed to be
Kiki Jiki combos. We are the problem.
This is supposed to be kitchen table.
All right. Hey, this was a lot of fun. This was a fun and it was interesting story time for everybody.
Right.
Figure out why cards are what they are, and I hope some of you are officially filled in on what cards you should get, what cards you should wait on, maybe some of the alternatives to those cards. I'm looking at you, Wrath of God. This was a great time. I'm happy you could join us, Austin.
Yeah, thank you both for having me.
Eric, as always.
Yeah, no, I was here.
He exists. Well, he's doing post-production with me, so Austin was the guest.
Can you put a smiley face on the video right now for me?
Oh, man. I'll try.
Thank you so much.
It's gonna be like...
It's going to be a PNG.
It's gonna be a PNG. It's like 480 pixels.
You better do it.
Nah, you gotta Microsoft Paint just a smiley face right on top of the overlay for a couple seconds. I'm getting the glare.
All right.
Yeah, I'm really glad you guys could have me. And if there's one thing I want you all to take away from this, buy Urbrass the Hidden. Thank you.
Indeed. All right. Well, thank you for watching. Let us know in the comments down below whether or not you agree with some of our takes today, and what are the things you might want us to talk about on the podcast. Except the Fortnite Secret Lair. Not that one.
Bye!